Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today what I have done is I have set up 32 different ranking factors. There are obviously more than 32, but what I've done for this video is I've narrowed it down to the most searched for, and also I've actually had ChatGPT help me a little bit with this. And basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is I will be ranking all 32 ranking factors from most important to least important. Now, one thing I do want to mention about this video is that this will slightly depend on what type of website you are building. So, for example, if you are building an e-commerce store, certain elements might rank a little bit higher than, for example, a local website or an affiliate website. So just bear that in mind when we are going. And also, what I will do is I'll leave a link to this. You guys can actually go and play this yourself, and let's see if there are any things that you disagree with. Drop them down in the comment section. So, starting off with content quality. Content quality, obviously, over the years, people have kind of moved away from just keyword density. Now they're talking about actually answering the intent. So I think that content quality is pretty important. Now, one thing that we should probably talk about is content length, and I know that a lot of people use writing tools that basically recommends to them like how long an article should be, and I don't rate content length as much. Now, the reason for that is obviously I've spoke about this before, but a lot of the times Google hops over keywords, and what I mean by that is if you actually use the Google Cloud API, you'll see that words like the, same, here, a lot of that stuff's actually not even read. It does mainly look at entities. So if you can fill your content with a lot of entities, with a lot of LSIs, semantics, secondary keywords, you're going to go along. You're going to create a much quality piece by doing that than just focusing on, okay, my 10 competitors have 3,000 words, I'm going to write 3,000 words. So just bear that in mind. Then we have got mobile friendliness. Now, mobile friendliness, obviously, over the years, it has definitely, like, I remember when I first got into SEO, a lot of the searches, it was probably like 60% mobile and then 40% desktop, and now it is probably actually a little bit more closer to 80%. I'm not entirely certain on the actual exact number, but if you obviously can rely on mobile friendliness of your site, you can definitely go a long way. That being said, if your website is, let's say, position 5, and you're trying to get to position 1, fixing mobile friendliness, it probably isn't going to help. The reason why you're probably already ranking position number 5, let's say in the actual search results page, Google probably trusts your website. You might just need a lot more articles, or you might need a little bit more link building, or potentially you might need some more internal links. So just bear that in mind when you are obviously trying to actually optimize for mobile friendliness, because there's a lot of people that try to optimize their website to 100 out of 100, but if you actually take a look at your competitors, 9 times out of 10, they probably don't have 100% page speed score. Then what we're going to do is URL structure. So URL structure, I've actually divided this, so I've actually got URL structure, and then I also have got exact match domains. So URL structure is pretty important, especially if you are looking to scale out a bigger website. If you guys are more so in local, I would probably say it's maybe not as important, but let's say you're trying to scale out a big monster e-commerce store or a big affiliate store or affiliate website, I would definitely look to actually sort out your URL structure. So, for example, if you guys take a look at NerdWallet, they do a really good URL structure on their website, where if you are in the credit card silo, it's nerdwallet.com/credit cards/ the blog you're looking at. So Google obviously understands that you're looking at Google obviously understands that you are in the credit card silo, so it just understands it a lot better. But would I say that this is an A or a B ranking factor? I'm probably going to go with B for now. I might decide to move this further down in the actual ranking factors. But next one is exact match domains. Exact match domains, they rank very well. There's a lot of people in the e-commerce space that are buying up exact match domains, and they're ranking e-commerce stores fairly quickly. Same goes with the local industry as well. So if you're doing any ranking rents, or if you're a local business trying to scale out 3 or 4 different websites, that can definitely help. And by the way, if anybody that doesn't know what an exact match domain is, let's say, for example, I obviously own casualdash.com. And let's say, for example, if I wanted to rank for Accountants London, accountantlondon.co.uk would rank a lot easier than just Casual Dash, which is more branded. So just bear that in mind. I'm actually going to probably put this in A because I'm seeing it work a lot in all 3 actual industries. So local industries, e-commerce industries, and also in the affiliate space as well. I'm seeing a lot of gambling websites using exact match domains. We're then going to go to user experience. And user experience, I feel like it has definitely gotten a lot more of, or it's increased in a ranking factor. Again, I would probably say if you are position 5 and you're trying to jump up to position 1, I probably wouldn't focus as much on user experience. But as a good foundation, I would probably focus on user experience. Like, let's say you're setting up a brand new website. You can obviously have, like, let's say, sidebar links to other relevant posts. You can obviously optimize for mobile, for example, making certain that your most visited pages are prominent when it comes to linking to them structurally. So I think, again, this is probably in the B category. It's not going to be something that jumps you from position 5 to 1, but it might be something that's going to jump you from position, let's say, 45 to 15. So that's probably where I would put it. URL structure, obviously, it's a little bit more important. We'll come back to URL structure at the end of the video. We'll see if there's anything that needs shifting potentially. The next thing is page speed. So page speed, obviously, if you have got a slow website, if it's loading for 4 or 5 minutes, then people are obviously going to bounce off of your website. I'm going to assume that none of you guys have got that. Again, that's an assumption for everybody watching like my videos and stuff. I'd like to think that they are a little bit more advanced in the SEO space. But would I focus on page speed? Probably. I would probably put this in the... It's probably C/B. Again, it's not going to be something that, like, if you're in position 5, it's not going to jump you to position 1 because, again, you've probably got a quick website. But it is actually a little bit important when you're uploading your images that you're optimizing them and stuff. Overall, yeah, I think C is probably a good place for page speed. It's not something that I would lose sleep over, but just make certain that obviously you have got your CSS optimized, your JavaScript optimized, your images. If you can run them through a optimizing tool, which it might take them from, like, let's say you're taking images on your DSLR, that might be like a 6 megabyte file. If you can obviously optimize that to be like a few kilobytes, then definitely that can be a bigger ranking factor. But again, I'm going to assume that you guys have got a fairly quick website overall. Domain authority. So domain authority, again, with the likes of Forbes, with the likes of Reddit, for example, those websites are ranking very, very high, and it just doesn't look like they are going to shift anytime soon. So I think right now, domain authority is obviously super important. If you are seen as an authoritative website in the space that you're talking about, that can definitely have a very positive impact on your website. Core Web Vitals. So I have seen a lot of people speak about Core Web Vitals. It was one of the major talking points. I believe it was either end of last year or potentially start of the year. Again, it's not something that I would seriously worry about. I would probably put this in the D category, because I'm going to assume if you've got a good page speed load, you're going to also have, it's kind of hand in hand. If you've got good mobile friendliness and a good UX, your page speed is going to probably be pretty decent, and your Core Web Vitals is going to be pretty decent as well. Like the one caveat to all of this is, if there is something seriously wrong, then obviously Core Web Vitals would probably be up here. Same with page speed. But again, I'm going to assume that everybody has like a good understanding of SEO and their website isn't completely messed up. We then have crawl depth. So crawl depth, I would probably again say it depends on the size of your website. If you have got like a location website, like a local business site, and it is, let's say, 80 pages, it's probably something that you don't want to worry about too much. If you do have like a bigger website, let's say you've got an e-commerce store with 500 pages, you might want to worry about it a little bit more. If you have an e-commerce store with 6,000 pages, it's probably going to be something that you want to worry about even more. And for anybody that doesn't know what crawl depth is, it's basically the amount of clicks away from your homepage. So for example, if you have got, if we take a look, if we imagine ASOS, for example, ASOS, you land on it. It's a clothing brand in the UK. I think it might also be in the US. But then you've got men's clothing, which is 1 click. Then you might have shoes, which is 2 clicks. And then you might have running shoes, which is 4 clicks. So again, they are a massive brand. So for a massive e-commerce store, crawl depth would definitely matter, but it probably won't matter as much if you are in the local space. What I'm probably going to do is, I think that crawl depth, if you don't get it correct, it can be detrimental to your website, especially if you're a bigger website. So if you're a bigger website, worry about this a little bit more. If you are a smaller website, you might not need to worry about it as such. I am going to put this in the... I'm going to put this in the B category, only because not everybody or not all of my viewers have a big website. If you have a bigger website, obviously it's going to be higher up in the pecking order. Then we have got content freshness, and this, for a lot of websites, I would say is pretty important. Like, for example, if you have got an affiliate website and you've got a best televisions page, making certain that every, let's say, 2 or 3 months when a new television's released, you're updating that page. If, say, for example, you're a law firm and there's a new law or a change of law, that can definitely be content freshness. You might go back into a certain page and re-update that page. One other thing as well, apart from like updating the page with new products or potentially new laws, if you're in the law space, what you can obviously do is go into your Google Search Console at page level and load up the page. Let's say you've got a page talking about divorce law, right, on your website. Look at secondary keywords that you're ranking for and try implement that into your actual website, and that's classed as content freshness also, and that definitely does see a really good increase in rankings as well. So I highly recommend that, going into your Google Search Console, loading up at page level, seeing which impressions you are actually getting clicks for and visits through to your website, and including those keywords onto your page if you haven't already. So I'm going to put that in the A category. I think that it's pretty important. We then have got schema markup. By the way, I'm doing this at a random, like I'm just picking whatever I see first. Schema markup. Again, schema markup can be important or more important for certain websites. Let's say you're a local business. You can obviously include local business schema that will definitely also help your Google business profile rank higher. If you are an e-commerce store, You can do product schema. If you are a affiliate website, you can obviously do review schema as well. Again, do I think that it will jump you from position 5 to position 1? Absolutely not. Do I think that it will help in other factors? Like, for example, if you have got product and review schema, sometimes you get the stars, and that does improve click-through rate through to your website. So again, it's probably one of those things where I'm going to put this middle of the ground. I do think that it will definitely have some form of an impact, but it's not going to be a game changer, if that makes sense. We then have SSL security. Again, I'm going to assume that you guys aren't living in 2012 and you all have SSL security, so I'm going to put this in the D factor because I'm going to assume that a lot of you guys already have an SSL. And then let's take a look at social signals. So for anybody that doesn't know what social signals are, they are basically when you publish an article, it can be potentially clicks from your social profiles through to your website. It can be social shares. So for example, if you've done an article on, let's say, Donald Trump right now, it would probably start trending. It would get a lot of social shares. Again, I don't think that this is going to be something that goes from, or it takes your website from position 5 to position 1, but it can definitely jump your website from position 55 to position, let's say, 14, 12. So again, I'm going to put this in the B category. I think that it is important to do, but I just wouldn't spend tons of time doing it. I think that it's good practice, probably, is probably the best wording. We then have got user intent. Now, user intent, I would probably say that it's super important because a lot of websites after core algorithm updates actually lose positions because they don't match the user intent. And what I mean by that is, in some cases, a user intent might be prior to an algorithm update. It might be like Google might prefer displaying review websites. After an algorithm update, it might prefer displaying shop websites where you can physically actually buy the product. So making certain that you are actually matching the user intent, that can definitely help. Again, would I put this in? Actually, I'm going to put this in the A category. I think that this user intent, making certain that you actually match the user intent, that can definitely push your website from position 15 to position 2. So yeah, I think that user intent is pretty important. We then have bounce rate. Again, I don't think that bounce rate, this is a little bit of a controversial one. I don't think that you should optimize for bounce rate. And let me tell you or let me give you guys a few examples. In some cases, people just want a quick answer to their question and they will bounce off the website naturally. It's natural. Like, for example, if you're an affiliate website, if you have got a review on, let's say, Bet365 Casino or Adidas 452 running shoes review, people will naturally just visit your website and they'll click off after a couple minutes. And then in other cases, people might want to read more. So I think it probably comes down to the actual keyword. It probably comes down to more so the actual user intent at that base. So I'm going to say that bounce rate, it's not something that I would worry about. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. It probably comes down to the actual type of page. Because if it's like an FAQ page where people literally just read the question and they get the answer and then they bounce off, then there's nothing that you can possibly do to keep them on your website. I mean, obviously there are certain things like making certain that you've got good internal links, but as whole, bounce rate is just it's kind of just bounce rate. You're unless, like, for example, you have got a hacked website and your bounce rate is naturally high, but again, I'm going to assume that you don't have a hacked website. Again, dwell time. This kind of goes with the bounce rate stuff. I'm going to say that dwell time's slightly a little bit more important, because typically speaking, if people spend on average 3 minutes on your website and then they potentially go to your contact us page and then they quit searching for what they were searching for, that's probably a good user journey. So I think that dwell time is just a little bit more important, but again, it's probably not going to be something that jumps your website from, let's say, position 5 to position 1. There are obviously certain caveats to that, but overall speaking, if you're position 5, dwell time probably isn't going to be your most important ranking factor to get you to position 1. We then have got anchor text for off-page SEO. I'm going to put this position 1 or in ranking tier S, which is the most important. And the reason for that, and I've done this as well before, is you can easily over-optimize on your anchors. If you are using unnatural anchors, you can definitely mess up a website. You can literally go from position 1 to position 85 if you're not focusing on your off-page anchors. So definitely, that's one thing. If you are doing any form of link building or outreach or digital PR, for example, or even press releases, that's one thing that can definitely mess up your website literally overnight. You can do negative SEO with bad off-page SEO anchors. The next thing we have got is image optimization, and I've kind of put this as a whole. I think that image optimization is pretty important. If you are, for example, if you're not using stock images, that's a positive. So try to use unique images if you can. If you are tagging up your images for them to rank, so for example, if they are optimized at the correct size, if they have got alt text, if you aren't using stock images, if you are saving them at the correct size, all of that stuff can definitely help. And again, if you are a more of a visual product or service, that can definitely get you a lot more clicks. And what I mean by a visual product or service, let's say, for example, if you do kitchen remodeling, it's a pretty visual product. A lot of people might not even search on Google search. They might look on, for example, Google Images as opposed to the natural Google search. So just bear that in mind. Another thing to bear in mind as well is if you have got an e-commerce store, if you are obviously optimizing your images, you're tagging them up correctly for them to rank in Google Images, that can definitely get you a lot more clicks and a lot more sales also. We then have got keyword usage. This keyword usage was actually a recommendation from ChatGPT, and that basically, keyword usage basically meant keyword density, some people call it. Again, keyword density, I'm not going to say it's as important as it used to be, but for example, if you're trying to rank for SEO experts London, if you don't have it in the actual content at all ever, it's going to be a little bit difficult to rank for that. So again, would I say that it's like 2013 days where you can do 14% keyword density? Probably not. But is it still important? Yes, it probably is. I'm going to put this in. It's a difficult one. It's either A or B. I'm going to put this in B. I think that's pretty reasonable. We then have got on-page SEO, and on-page SEO is obviously just writing. It kind of goes hand in hand with good content, but it's probably more overall. And what I mean by that is making certain that your images are optimized, making certain that you have got a good internal linking strategy. Just overall, I'm going to put this in the S category. And then we also, obviously, we've got internal linking. Internal linking is probably, if your internal links are bad, like if you just don't have any internal links, your pages just won't rank. That's personally how I see it. especially if you have got a bigger website. Let's say you're an e-commerce store, or let's say you have got a big affiliate website. In some cases, internal linking can be the moving factor to get you from position 5 to position 1 for certain keywords. So I'm going to say that that's pretty important. Again, hand in hand, I'm going to say that anchor text on page. So obviously we had off-page anchors. On-page anchors is pretty important as well. I'm going to put this in the S category also. Again, one rule of thumb that I like to do is go into a certain page. Let's say you're trying to rank for best plumbers in London. Go into your Google Search Console and look at all of your secondary keywords and use those as internal link anchors for that specific page, and that will definitely help also. We then have got user reviews, and obviously with the rise, so user reviews, it can also be user generated content, which can be deemed as forums. And as of recording this video, it's obviously the 19th of July. Reddit is ranking position 1 for literally basically every single keyword that you can possibly think of. So as of recording this video, it is user generated content does do very well. Forums do very well also. So it would be criminal not to put this in S tier. But do I think that it's viable for every single website to have user-generated content and user reviews? Definitely not. I just don't think that it can definitely be well implemented on an existing website. But where would I put this? Obviously, like what I mentioned before, Reddit is definitely ranking very, very well. Forums are doing very well as of recording this video. I'm going to put this in the B category because user-generated content or user reviews, that could also fall under the bracket of user reviews for example, your business, your e-commerce website. And obviously, if you do have genuine reviews, that can definitely improve not just SEO-wise, but your conversion rate on that website. So I'm going to put it in the B category. Again, it's not something that I would focus on too much. It's probably a little bit website dependent. One caveat to this is if you guys are looking to set up a forum, there's probably no better time to do it than now, because right now forums are just exploding in traffic. We then have got organic click-through rate, so CTR. Obviously, CTR from your social media profiles, from YouTube, branded traffic, any of that definitely can help. I am probably going to put this in the S category right now. I think as of recording this right now, obviously if you guys are watching this in a year's time, I might actually do an updated video, but as of recording this, 19th of July 2024, click-through rate is pretty important. Would I? Yeah, I'm going to put that in S. I feel like that's probably reasonable. I don't want to put it down as A because I feel like it is probably more important than the rest. We then have external links. So what I mean by external links is if you are, let's say, you are quoting a certain statistic, or potentially you could be linking out to a certain website that basically supports your article. That is definitely good user experience. I think that is definitely a positive as opposed to a negative. A lot of website owners a few years ago didn't like to external link because they thought that they were passing page rank through to websites. But I think that it's very good. I think that if you can definitely implement it. Do I think that it would take your website from position 5 to position 1? I don't think it would. I think that it's important, but it's not super important. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. We actually have external linking twice, so I'm going to put external linking here again. There's, for whatever reason, I've printed off twice. We then have got brand mentions, and what I mean by brand mentions is a lot of people focus on do follow links, no follow links, and foundational links, but they don't actually focus on brand mentions, and that's sometimes getting your brand mentioned in, for example, a high publication without a link. Like I've spoke about this before when I've been doing like my website recovery videos, but getting your website mentioned without actually doing any form of links, like whether it's do follow or no follow, just let's say it's just general news about your business or about your website, that's definitely positive, because it can definitely improve your branded search. So I'm going to move this to position A. I think that it's important, but it's not super important. I think that it's probably alongside with exact match domains, content freshness. It can definitely help with actually people searching up your brand and stuff. We then have got backlinks, and obviously backlinks, if you ain't doing link building, you ain't going to rank. Again, I need to be a little bit careful with what I say here, but unless, for example, because there's a lot of people that say, nope, you shouldn't do link building, links naturally come, but just hear me out on this. The guys that are probably saying that, they're probably the head of SEO from some major brands. Like if I was appointed the head of SEO for IKEA tomorrow, or the head of SEO for Yellow Pages, I'm probably not going to worry about link building because I've got enough links. I'm already a DR90. Like same goes with like Forbes. If Forbes appointed me as the head of SEO tomorrow, this would probably be in position number D. Like there's no point in doing any form of link building for those websites. But that being said, if you're a new website, or if you are maybe not a new website, but let's say your website's 4 or 5 years old, and you don't have the luxuries of Forbes and Yellow Pages and Reddit and stuff like that, link building is definitely important. I know that some people say that you shouldn't do link building, it's illegal, it's this, it's that. All of these websites at some point have acquired links, whether they've paid for them, whether they have done outreach for them, whether they have just written good articles and they've acquired them. They still need links. If you were to remove all of Forbes links tomorrow, it's not going to rank. Yeah, that's that, or it might still rank, but it's not going to rank as well. So just bear that in mind. If you are obviously a quite a beginner website, link building is pretty important. We then have got video content, and I'm going to put this in the A category, mainly from my own experience. I feel like I'm pretty attuned to speaking about this, but as soon as I started doing video content on my YouTube channel, obviously I've been doing daily videos for 6-7 months now. It feels like 2 years, but I started getting a lot of branded traffic. So obviously I say to people, hey, check out casualdash.com. If you want a free 15-minute strategy call, go to casualdash.com. And people either they click through in the description or they search casualdash.com. And within the past like 60 days, I've actually had probably about 250, 300 people just searching casualdash.com. Or just Casual Dash on Google. So it definitely can help. It's kind of like branded mentions. So I think that obviously any form of video content helps. One thing that I would also mention away from the actual branded traffic that you get from video content, in some cases people don't want to read a 4,000 word article. Like I don't know if it's just me personally, but I don't like reading. And it's probably funny that I say that because I'm in the SEO space. I'm obviously ranking blog articles, and I'm saying that I don't like reading. But if you can do video content, it can definitely help. Obviously, with the rise of millennials, people like TikToks, people like video content, people like shorts. If you can start producing that, it can definitely help. That being said, would I say that it's is it going to take you from position 5 to position 1? Definitely not. But I'm not going to put it in the B category because I think that over time, when it comes to future-proofing your website, video content is going to become a lot more of a talking point. It's going to be, you're essentially future-proofing your own brand by being able to publish video content now, today. The last two, so we've got technical SEO. I'm going to put this as by far the most important. If you have got a bad technically built website, like let's say for example, if you've got your website set as no index, of course, like Google's not even going to crawl your website if your site set as no index. If, say for example, you have got a load of 404 pages, double 301 pages, your crawl budget isn't optimized, all of that good stuff, you could have the best content, you could have the best links. Google's going to absolutely hate your website because you're wasting their crawl budget. So for anybody that doesn't know, just a little bit of a backstory on crawl budget. Every single website has a certain amount of pages that Google will crawl every single day. It obviously depends on how good your content quality is and how good your backlinks are. But if, say, for example, you have got loads of orphan pages, you've got loads of technical SEO issues, your website it takes 10 minutes to load in certain pages, Google's just going to say, do you know what? I don't care how good this website is. I'm going to stop coming to this website because it wastes my time. And then topical authority. Now, again, there are different stages to topical authority. Do I think that, for example, you need 600 articles for a local website? Probably not. But do I think that topical authority is super important across all websites? I would probably say so, yes. I think that topical authority can definitely help you jump from position 5 to position 1. Same goes with technical SEO, domain authority, content quality, anchor text, on-page SEO, internal linking, anchor text on page, and CTR, backlinks, all of these things, everything that's mentioned in S tier, that can definitely have a positive or negative impact across any single website. It obviously is a little bit more, it's important, but it's probably not as important as S tier. B tier is just good SEO. Like, if you've been doing it, you're probably going to do all of this anyway. C tier, I probably wouldn't lose sleep overnight. Again, I'm gonna assume that a lot of you guys that are watching this, you have got a good understanding of SEO, so you've already got a high page speed. You're not worrying about content length as such, dwell time and stuff like that. So that has been I believe it's 32. It might be 31 because there was obviously a duplicate, but that's been my 31 different SEO ranking factors. Let me know if there are anything that you disagree with. There's going to obviously be some things that you guys are like, oh, I wonder why he said that, or I wonder if any of you guys actually have any disagreements, or let me know if you guys actually agree with everything that I've prioritized. This has been like a little bit of a longer video. It's been 40 minutes, but I hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, if you guys do want a bespoke SEO strategy for your website, make sure to check the link down in the description, or check out cardsdash.com. I like the branded search. So as always, thanks for watching. Remember to leave a like.